Get ready, Chiefs Kingdom, to unleash your passion and excitement for all Chiefs content. With the up-and-coming sports media company giving you all of the Chiefs coverage. We are raising the decibels and embracing the community of Chiefs Kingdom. Elevate your fandom and join our team who loves your team. Red Kingdom Media.
Welcome to this Week 9 edition of the Red Kingdom Media live post-game show. I am Clinton. Dale is joining me right now, and we'll hear Lonnie probably halfway through whenever we get going. But your Kansas City Chiefs defeat the Miami Dolphins in Frankfurt, Germany with a final score of 21-14. The Chiefs were leading at halftime 21-0. The defense unfortunately let two go through once the second half had taken place. But the offense was not able to manufacture another scoring drive besides the opening drive and that play deep inside their territory that felt like a need to score situation. So I'm going to give you the floor here in a second, Dale, but I just want to, because I intentionally did it and said that this defense couldn't keep up and could not keep this Miami team to arguably one of their lowest point totals all season, most likely, if not the lowest. But the fact that they held them to less points than the Broncos in a more high voltage situation, and the fact that a defensive score got the team the win, literally was the deciding 7 points. So the Dolphins were in a position to score on that drive. They were finally figuring something out, and then we saw the secondary just do what they've done this season already, just force turnovers, make big tackles, and boy, what a good way to start the morning when it's not even afternoon for some people. So it feels good to have a victory Monday already sealed, and we're not even 24 hours from that. So hype it up, man.
Yeah, right now, I lost my voice. I lost my voice actually when I was yelling at the McDuffie forced fumble on Tyreek Hill. If y'all haven't already, y'all already saw my live. I was going crazy because it was just so phenomenal seeing, the banter going back and forth. It definitely was a competitive game. The game started off with just a lot of penalties because both sides are just hyped. Regardless of it being a low-scoring game today from both teams, it was still exciting, though. You didn't know what would happen at any point of the game. I mean, Mahomes started out the first drive, got a touchdown, went down the field, got it to Rashee Rice. We scored. Then we started out for the next two or three, 4 drives, if anything, because I don't think we scored until the late second quarter, right before the half, and then we got that defensive touchdown. So just from the get-go, the defensive side of the ball, they were just going at their necks. They were very aggressive. You saw at times Snead was actually going at Tyreek Hill, bumping him at the line of scrimmage. Wasn't scared at all. He was like, I know you're going to run past me, but I'm about to affect the timing of this play. I like that. I like when you have that dog in you to where it's like, I know how explosive you are, bro. I practiced against you in at practice. We had some good sessions, and we know Tyreek got some against him as well too. And we saw it throughout the game. He started
Mhm.
getting there late in the second half, going on some getting some slaps, but he didn't score a touchdown. And I told you we was text about this already. I said I'm just happy that Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are not the ones beating us essentially.
Right.
They
Yeah.
haven't scored any touchdowns. Raheem Mostert and Wilson scored that touchdown, but they wanted that touchdown for Reek. I feel like to really blow open that office for them because he know how important this game was for him to prove his
Mhm.
old team wrong.
Yeah.
So all in all, great win for the Chiefs today. Offense, I'm gonna be honest, we can worry about what's going on going forward.
Yep.
Just being truthful. We started off the game pretty hot, but we get into those moments in the game to where we stall on drives. We are having bad play calling from both Nagy and Reed, and then also Mahomes still has his mistakes still in there throughout the game. We had that fumble that turned it around for them. They were able to capitalize and score off of that. So at some point. It's really gonna bite us in the butt. It bit us in the butt
Right.
against the Denver Broncos, but even though this was a good team, a playoff team as well too, a team that can go deep into the playoffs, you still have more tenure and more vet teams who actually been there, like the Cincinnati Bengals and also the Buffalo Bills as well too. Just because they have a different style of offense that can be explosive. Okay, we showed that we can stop the speed. But what we're going to do against guys who are able to, win jump ball situations,
Exactly.
a quarterback who actually goes downfield, he will go to his check downs. They have a good running back in Mixon, and they have a strong defense as well too. They have a defense that can get stops, and we saw
Yes.
them do it against the Kansas City Chiefs. So it's like, what happens in those games? So that's why they need to figure out something quick. We know Reed is definitely great after the bye, but is it going to be enough for this team to go forward and this offense to be able to be like, okay, it's time for us to actually hit that second gear. It's time for us not to be the reasons that we're down in games and we're letting the other team be competitive. Let's move down the field. We're not that same deep threat team as we were before, but we have some receivers that can do some things, within the first 5 to 10 yards. So if we got to be more intermediate, just not make dumb decisions, get first downs, because that's what the Miami Dolphins was doing when they started rallying up. They were getting first downs on first down and second down. We got to get those first downs early. That way we move downfield the first 10 yards, because if it's a touchback, you at the 25. First 10 or 12, that's 37. The next 10 or 12, now you're at the 40 midfield. So now you can kind of like, okay, let's try this. Let's do this. Okay, let's feed Pacheco a little bit more. Let's make it an easier second down with him getting 5 yards. We got to find something that works for us. We don't have Reek no more. We don't have that speed like we used to. Hardman came back, starting to question that trade a little bit, but still, at the end of the day, we got to figure something out. So I think it's definitely fair to start worrying about the offense moving forward.
I agree. So let's save the depressing offense for the second portion of our conversation. So you mentioned the secondary and that this was going to be a big test for them. And
Yes.
it was, and they showed out. And that same question was, the Vikings have a tough secondary receiving core. How are they going to do against that team? I think, the Chargers arguably have good receiving core, even if Mike Williams isn't there. I thought that this next, especially this couple game stretch, Dolphins, Eagles, was going to be a big test on how much you could fully put faith into the secondary. And against the Eagles, even more so your defensive line, because they have just a stellar offensive line all around. And week 1 didn't have Chris Jones, but did not have as much pressure as the game needed in order to win that game, despite all their circumstances. In a normal game, Mahomes being himself and the offense being themselves, they win that game. And same goes for if that's the case in this game, maybe the Dolphins have a 2 or 3 touchdown lead deficit that they're trying to make up at the end of the game versus just a 1. So the defense only allowed 1 scoring drive outright because the other Dolphins touchdown came after Mahomes' fumble.
Yep.
So if you would have told me the Chiefs are only going to give up 7 points on defense to the Dolphins, I would have called you a liar. And it's not because I'm like flaming the defense. I think they're bad. I'm just giving props to the Dolphins. So I say what you will. I mean, it kind of felt like watching at home that the Chiefs had more energy than the Dolphins, even though there was all this talk that it was good for the Dolphins to get to Germany a few days early and get acclimated to that. Maybe they were even more tired than the Chiefs were because they were more used to it versus kind of just getting there and dealing with it like the Chiefs' strategy ended up being, which they replicated in 2015. So, hey, can't argue with the stats. He it won again. So see if any other coach decides to do this same strategy. I'm going to mention I was wearing a Chris Jones jersey earlier. Unfortunately, we didn't hear his name until he made a big mistake. And except towards the very end of the game where he got his hand up and there was, some scare that he was going to get a penalty on that play too. But I'm just like, dude, he's a big man. You either he hits something like hardwood and knocks it over, or he tries to like breeze with you. So that he saved Tua from getting pushed into because those linemen, dude, they were doing whatever they could to keep Chris Jones held on to. Let's see. So any big defensive moments stand out to you? Obviously, the fumble and the Brian Cook return for a touchdown. That one goes without saying. It's the name of the subject line for this conversation. But who else in your mind really solidified themselves as being an it factor on this defense?
Man, honestly, I was just proud of that sack, that big sack we had on second down. I think it was caused by, I don't remember at that moment. It was just, I can't think of it right now, but I don't know if it was Mike Dana or Carl Athis or one of those guys, and I think Leo Chanel might have been in it as well too. But I think that was a big moment right there, just because they were.
I think you're referring to the Jalen Watson corner blitz tag team with the Tershawn Wharton.
Okay, I think that might be the one. Yeah, that might be the one. Yeah, it was that one because just being able to get them out of field goal range, they had a chance to still put up 3, right? So if they would have put up 3, it would have been a chance where it would have been like 21-17, something like that. So to be able to get them out of field goal range, make them force a punt,
right.
I think that was just big on them. Of course, I would love for us to complete the game ourselves, get a couple first downs, and just kneel after that, make our offense look a lot better, right? Just instead of stalling and giving it back to an offense that looks like they was picking up. But just that sack right there, I think that was a big one. And then also, I like the pressure at the end of the game that it gave us well too. I just think with Spags being like, this is what works for me. It's fourth and long. This is the play right here. It's either y'all gonna score this touchdown or I'm winning the game right here.
Yeah, flat out. It's fun because you had this thought that like Spags was not worried about the Dolphins offense at all until they got like past midfield or right at midfield. They're just like, you can have whatever you want. Once we're inside these 40s, that's when we're gonna do some weird stuff to you. Send some corner blitzes, drop some guys into cover you're not expecting. Just wait for you to make a mistake. And thankfully there was enough offensive mistakes this game for the Chiefs to capitalize despite their offensive mistakes. So before we transition over to that conversation, I think, we were talking and, I've already been called out on my bad early season take of Justin Reed, but like I'm loving his tackling, man. What you remember like a couple years ago, Tyrann Mathieu and Daniel Sorensen just could not bring down a player to save their life. And now, like, even if a ball is caught, they're ready to tackle. And now maybe offenses are a little afraid to make a catch because the Chiefs are so good at tackling this season. Willie Gay almost got a tackle for loss on Tyreek all by himself, but then he caused enough to slow it down and then allow the rally tackles. So that explosiveness on defense kind of spread throughout all of the position groups is really paying dividends, and it's allowing Spags to be very creative, and he loves that. It gets to decide how he's going to mess with a quarterback and an offensive coordinator's life today. You know, like a cornerback blitz is not a play that you would think like defensive coordinators would call all the time, but like when you're blitz heavy and you know the right time to bring pressure, and if you blitz, you know there's going to be one place wide open, and if you do it right, so that area is not the first or second place that gets looked, you can win, and we saw that several times in this game. So shout out to Spags. You saw my joke in the text thread. Dude's trying to get himself a head coaching job. And it would be very shocking if the end of the season, the Chiefs end up hoisting a Lombardi trophy and Spags is still yet to be a head coach. If this is like the average Chiefs defense we're going to see the rest of the year, like there's got to be a team that thinks that like this isn't just lightning in a bottle, and that it's got to be this coaching and the just the culture that he's built within the 4 or 5 years he's already been here.
You know, when you say that, I think a lot of people might disagree with me on this. I don't want him to go be an NFL head coach.
I don't want him to leave.
No. And I say this because we saw his time when he was a head coach as well too. He wasn't as successful, so you know he wasn't able to really put together a team like that. His defense worked good though, but you know he just wasn't an offensive minded coach. And now in today's game, you have to have an offensive minded head coach just because how it's played, and they like to put up a lot of points now. I mean, I feel
Buffalo's not doing it.
Sean McDermott, is he more
defense? He's defense.
More defensive. Okay.
Yeah. So it's always been a revolving door of who's going to be the offense.
Okay. You know what it is? I think I see success for him in college if he goes to be a head coach. Okay. Not going to lie. I see success.
He could be like a Penn State head coach, and they'll have like the number 1 ranked defense 3 years in a row or something like that. I feel
it's just like I feel like he definitely does well with just focusing on that side of the ball, and I think it's going to open up conversations for him. Most definitely, I think it's going to depend on what team it is, though. I think Spags is comfortable right now, but any coach wants a head coaching job, right?
Of course.
We haven't heard him say anything or any rumblings.
Eric Bieniemy was in the perfect situation and said, if I want to advance my career, I have to step out. So
he had to.
He hasn't been there, but you know, Steve and Matt, they've already been head coaches and are back just in the lower coordinator role. So they have a long way to go and a lot more to prove to NFL teams to try to take that chance on him again. So I understand that aspect. I'm just saying the way that he's getting his players to perform, because who's new on this defense who wasn't here last year besides Charles Omenihu, and we didn't really see the benefits of him.
Mike Edwards.
That was a low-key free agent signing. Drew Tranquil, low-key free agent signing, and they're not even big multi-year, multi-million-dollar contracts.
Exactly.
So finding diamonds in the rough, like the Chiefs are really good at finding like blue chip type talent, but like severely underdogged to death. Man. And
yeah, my bad. Like I was really letting you finish it because I was like I was saying it because I need to keep my thought. But no, Mike Edwards was really an underrated free agent signing. Just to his play when he got that fumble recovery, right? Not something big at all, but he's a ball magnet. And he was like, okay, you're trying to grab me down. You're not on Brian Cook. Let me go ahead, pass it back to him, break a tackle. Tyreek could even chase him down. All you see Brian Cook going downfield on the sideline, long stride. Y'all not catching me. I'm taking this for 6.
And how great is that of a feeling? We have like 3 or 4 secondary players that we think, you know, nobody is Tyreek Hill fast. We understand that. But like we have enough clearly to cover such speed that we shouldn't be too worried come playoff time that we play, say, the Miami Dolphins again if they make the turnaround to their team and That very well could have been an AFC Championship game if they hold their division lead and Buffalo and Cincy continue to have their struggles and Baltimore struggles.
And this is my last thing for the defense before we go over to the offense.
Mhm.
Don't be surprised if we do go back to the Super Bowl this year, and the defense is the reason why we won the game.
Absolutely.
Look, I've been waiting for this. During the 10 year, it's always been Mahomes want to win the championships for us. Even when he had 182 yards last year in the Super Bowl, got 4 touchdowns, but was able to go downfield, haven't had any mistakes. It's just going to be wonderful to see, like, oh, the Chiefs got another turnover. Oh, the Chiefs had a pick 6. Oh, the Chiefs had a fumble 6. Oh, this is in the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes having not that great of a game. I mean, haven't turned over the ball at all, but throwing for under 200 yards right now, only a touchdown. And it would just feel good to be like, y'all really thought just taking away from him, this is how great he is, because he still can uplift you in moments to, win the game, right? Just when we need him to. But to have a defense behind him to be like, we got you, bro. You've been doing this for us for all the time you've been starting, ever since you took over at the helm. Y'all been the reason why we've been winning games. We got you this year. We're going to win the Super Bowl for you this year. And guess what it's going to do for us going forward? Now we're in real dynasty talks now. We got 3 of them. But we can't talk too ahead right now. I'm just too happy right now.
That's right.
Did I say this game for the defense was a big one? This was going to measure where we was at. And now I feel confident.
Speak of it, hey Lonnie, welcome to this episode of the post-game show. We were just just loving all over the defense before we head over to the offense. So give us your defensive takeaways from the game. Who did you love the most in this game? Who stood out to you? And talk about how far this defense has come and your expectations of them the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think it's what we thought it was, and what we continue to say it's going to be. They're going to be successful at a top 5 defense, and it has to be Trent McDuffie for me. I mean, this is what we traded away. Traded away Tyreek, got back all those picks. We turned them into secondary guys, and it showed today. We've seen him rear his head a lot of times this year, leading the league with 4 forced fumbles, and he really showed that he was worth that pick today. He's definitely the defensive MVP. I love L'Jarius Sneed to death, but it has to be Trent McDuffie for me today, like for sure. He's playing his game is at a super duper high level right now, for sure.
My thoughts were like so their next game they have a bye, get to really prepare for the Eagles, and then have the Raiders and Devontae to close out November. My thought, if either or both of those games are really well, you've got to consider that L'Jarius Sneed extension. Like, if you were to see this defense the way it is right now, you gotta run that back, and Trent's got a long couple more years before you got to worry about a contract for him. So you gotta give L'Jarius Sneed his money, and he's not going to ask for a lot because he sees how this team is built. And guys, the only time I mentioned it a little earlier in the show, the only time we heard Chris Jones' name was when he did something not good that ended up costing the Chiefs 4 points, arguably, if you check Twitter.
Yeah.
So obviously the Chiefs may or may not have decided that money that was going to be spent towards defense and Chris Jones did not want that money. So maybe that money is now accounted for. And based on what I've seen in this season so far, I want L'Jarius Sneed on this team long term. I think Tranquil has done enough to show himself as a key member to this team, and whether it's in a starting or a supporting role, he can be a X factor on defense to help this team. We talked that maybe Justin Reed's contract isn't worth it. Now you can argue with his leadership and his tackling that you would definitely keep that and try to find some money elsewhere. I think after the game we saw, I think you can go ahead and rip up MVS third year of the contract.
Yeah.
And walk away from there, get $10 million back and find something else to do with it. Hand it back to one of the other players who are making plays, because the Chiefs already decided they have all the wide receivers they could possibly want this season. So that means they're going to go into the offseason and not get any more because they love who they have, right? Totally. So they're going to spend all that money on defense and just keep up their defense and all the the accolades that we're giving him.
You know, it's a lot of ways to manipulate that money though. So like, if we do get 10 mil back on that, I mean, I guess you evaluate what you have right now. You got Rice on a rookie contract. Katoni's still on his rookie contract, but he have a year left.
More on his.
Scott Moore on his. McCole probably won't be back again, depending on the situation and how the season ends. So I think you're going to have to invest something in that position. You're going to have to try to get somebody.
I agree. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I don't.
Clearly,
yeah,
the deadline decided they were all good.
Well, I think it just they feel like it was nobody willing to trade for it. You know, I don't think it was many guys out there that they can get. I mean, they had talks about Darnell Mooney, but are you getting a guy who's technically is going to be like a second, third option as well too? And you know, we already said we got a lot of those right now. Is it really? You know, what's the point of doing it? You know, so I mean, that's why I feel like
you're not getting anything out of it. You're not fulfilling your role. You're replacing the same thing for the same quality and expecting a different result. So I feel you there. Yeah, it seems like our offense. So we'll go ahead and move on to there because there's a bummer conversation, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it seems like the offense from last year to this year, essentially, Travis is the same. Juju and Rashee are basically 1-to-1 replacements.
Yeah.
And everybody else is basically the same, and production has gone way down. So who do we have to put the blame on? Everyone's going to say it's Matt Nagy because he's totally the one calling the plays, and Eric Bieniemy's not here to say run the ball every single play. But it's not that simple. We all know Andy Reid runs this offense through and through. So the leading receiver in this game had 3 receptions and 24 yards, y'all. And despite the good offensive despite the good running from Isaiah Pacheco, he only got the ball 16 times. Dude was averaging 5 yards a carry at one point and then stopped getting the ball and got pass happy, and none of the balls were getting completed. So, we were just joking. MVS, your time is up. Sky Moore, your clock is ticking. Tony, please step up every single drive instead of just the one singular catch or 2 plays the offense allows you to have every week. I don't get that. We were told wide receiver number 1, and the guy can barely be in there for 20 plays and 1 single target.
Like, please, what's up with that? Can we please get over 20 plus snaps? Like,
God,
can we at least give him like them downfield throws that we be doing to Justin Washington?
Why is Cole Hardman getting as many snaps on this offense as he's getting? If you guys didn't want him on the offense to start the season,
you kept Tony.
Yeah. Not only that, when you think about it, the Chiefs have spent a 2nd and a 7th round pick on McCole Hardman for 5 years of his career. So they traded for have him back for his production, and didn't really have that. And all of us, and sure, but all of those punts caused us to be in very bad field position. If we change 1 or 2 of those, maybe the Dolphins have a little less fire in them based on that play. And who knows, maybe the score looks a little cleaner on the Chiefs side.
And I'm gonna put it as I feel like defenses have just caught up. Honestly, I'm sticking to that take. Just as far as you seeing how the Chiefs matched up with the Dolphins today. Like, the defense, it's no longer, I think you can just come out and score 50 on people and think that's going to win you a game. Defenses, like I said, have arrived, I feel like, and defensive backs have arrived. So, like, you don't, and Mitch Holst has said it too on the radio when I was just listening, heading back home to come grab my stuff. He was saying, you got MBS and a lot of the guys, you have to make contested catches. We don't make a lot of contested catches. You got to be able to have somebody on you, draped on you, and you still be able to pull the ball in. It's the NFL. So we don't have a lot of wide receivers that can do that right now. And I also just feel like I said, I feel like coverage is caught up with your front, with your wide receivers now. Like, you're not going to have your game-breaking wide receivers that just can't go for 150 unless you have a corner that is just a nobody out there.
So Dale, before you make your point, I just want to mention, so the offensive system has always been funneled through Travis Kelce, and he was able to get his 3 catches, so he kept that streak, but for a measly 14 yards, he did not get to have that production. It seemed like the Dolphins defense keyed in on him, and despite the plays being called, he wasn't able to get open, or there was enough physicality at the line of scrimmage to hold him back. So this Chiefs offense has relied and funneled through Travis Kelce, and if Travis Kelce isn't getting going, who do we end up putting the blame on? Because you can only ask for your 34-year-old tight end to do so much when he gets double or triple teamed and beaten down on nearly every single catch. So
yeah, so honestly, I want to go back to that point where you said, you asking us who is the place to blame on, and you said pretty much Rashee Rice is taking away Juju Smith, so he's him essentially. Everybody else is the same. So who's the common denominator in all of that though? Matt Nagy taking over offensive coordinator though. I mean, we can rave about it's Andy Reid offense, but honestly, he does go back and forth with his coordinator. They do run this game essentially together. They usually on the same page. So he is about that. I do think EB did come with a different type of mentality. I think EB, what he brought to this team was attitude. He brought some fire. I don't want to see Matt Nagy over there being like, he's going to figure it out. No, I don't care if they're grown men. Get up in them. Let them know you're playing ass right now. You're not doing good. You're not playing great at all. And I think he really done that. And I think a lot of times that's why you see his running backs come out with a lot of fire as well, too, going through that drive. And then we're able to do something with Mahomes as well, too. But, the Miami Dolphins did have a great pass rush, but this is something that has been a problem all year. I do feel Lonnie when he says defenses have caught up, because we discussed this a lot as well, too. We talked about how a lot of these guys do a lot of 7-on-7 now. You see a lot of that on, YouTube nowadays. A lot of people going out there. You see those guys with those helmets and little pads on while they're doing it. They're taking it a lot more. You know what I'm saying? They're focusing on like locking in on wide receivers, because the wide receivers is the one who's moving the game. It's a lot of great wide receivers out here making a lot of plays. They're the ones after the quarterback making the most money on the offense. So what they're doing defensively, what they're thinking as defensive backs, now I got to meet their level of play. I got to elevate myself as well too. And I think that's what a lot of them are doing. But they just need to figure out. I think we need to just. I understand that you go out there and you have the first possession. It's already stripped. We know what we're going to do, but let's try to keep that script going as well too. Let's be balanced when we're running the ball and throwing the ball as well. Let's not always be predictable on third and one or third and short down situations. If Pacheco is running through those defensive linemen or in those linebackers, let them keep on doing it. Keep extending the drive. That's all you got to do. Really.
Yeah. Isaiah Pacheco should have at least 20 carries every game, if not more, especially after 1 or 2 stalled 3-and-out drives. You got to spark him. Even if he gets tackle for loss, you still got to love his fire. And when he's running well, and the offensive line is blocking well, they start getting some fire under their butts and start playing like it. So the Chiefs offense, so Patrick Mahomes had a 66% completion percentage and ended with $185 in yards. So less than 200 yards passing. Say that out loud in this game. You guys are going match for Tyreek Hill in a marquee game, and you only have 185 yards. You don't think the Chiefs are going to keep up with that? But they had the 2 touchdowns in the first half, one to start the game and one to nearly close the second quarter. And that ended up being enough offensively, considering your defense gets you a score as well. So combined, the Chiefs offense was not able to get 300 yards total. After a game when we said we're ready for the offense to come back and they're going to be fired up, they're going to be ready, they're ready to prove themselves. I have to compare it to the Denver game. I know touchdowns, that's a good stat, but
yeah,
I don't know if the completions or the yardage or anything like that is even better than last week. So we have a harder matchup against the Eagles, and I think we're going to be going up against a team who's willing to do whatever it takes to win versus, say, maybe like a team like the Dolphins we saw today who really want to do things a certain way. And even if they have another, type of play that would work out, they still go back to whatever they fundamentally know versus what's reactionary beating defenses.
Yep, we beat them in the Super Bowl, so they ready for that.
That's
yeah,
right.
And I'll just say that I was saying earlier to my family that Patrick Mahomes owes his defense Rolls Royces. They play horrible. Like, you can't continue to have struggles like that. Like, and you get bailed out consistently, and it's by your defense. Like, that's ridiculous.
Right.
Like, it can't continue to keep happening. Like, you can't continue to keep doing that. As an offense, it's like you letting your defense down after a certain point. And I could just tell by how his face was today, kind of when the defense got the stop. Like, he did his job. They did enough to get a win, but it's really not how Patrick Mahomes wanted to win. And you go out there on that third down, third and short, and you squander your third and short, just kind of piss it down your leg, and then your defense comes and saves you once again. So it's like
I love it.
It's well, yeah, I definitely love it, but it's just as far as being a $400 million quarterback, just going back and re up, getting paid. We know what you've done for us before, but now the league can be what have you done lately, and Patrick Mahomes has not done a lot lately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, only reason why I said that because I mean, y'all know I'm weird sometimes, and I like weird stuff. Clayton be like, bro, how can you just be like this throughout the entire game? I will find something positive, and I will go off of it the whole time, and I don't even care. Look, Patrick Mahomes, you can chill this year, bro, because I love what I'm seeing from this defense. I love it. I'm really excited, bro.
I feel you. And if I was in the stadium and it's a home game and I get to be invested in that, I might feel a little differently and be like, okay, yeah, it's expected. We're all wearing red. We're all loud. That's why we're kicking butt and withholding. But that's not the situation in neutral site game like this game or a Super Bowl game or any big time game like that. That's in a somewhat close market that draws fans. You don't expect that perfect performance like that, and it's such a struggle to have that feeling that man, our offense is toast, and it's with Patrick Mahomes, dude. This is not something we're used to. This was a team where it could be 3rd and 25 and you're shrugging them off. You're like, they'll get the first down somehow. Now it's like one penalty or one drop. You're like, the drive feels over. Yep. And I'm not trying to be a downer. And I love that you find the positive. You keep me sane. But what am I supposed to think? Y'all said that this is Mahomes. He's gonna fix himself. We're gonna do.
Yeah.
And offense continues to struggle. This is the part of the ball I'm supposed to have faith in.
And this is what I think.
History and franchise quarterbacks and winning Super Bowls and all these stats that matter. You have to have the franchise quarterback, and he makes the plays to win the big games. Right now, they were struggling, and thankfully, we get a week off, and we have to face a tough opponent on a Monday night where everybody's watching us again, just like everyone woke up early as heck this morning to watch us here. And we were ready for kickoff, and then we diffused the rest of the game. I am one of those people that believes in energy and karma and all that. And you can feel when momentum is swinging towards the Chiefs and when it starts swinging away. And there were so many times this game that felt like the offense is just completely, they're out of gas. They are out of ideas. The defenses in this game came they came ready to play. they were the sides of the balls to watch this game and not the offensive shootout that we were promised.
Man.
So like you have to give it to our defense itself, but like you cannot think that every NFL defense is like as good as what we've seen them do against the Chiefs. Because we've seen statistically some of these defenses are not supposed to be all that great, and we're not getting the offensive production that we'd want.
But I just want to say this. I feel like I'm sorry. I feel like you may have to have a Brady year where Brady didn't always win his games just running away on offense by scoring 30 points. Sometimes he did just enough to win.
Thankfully, you had a defensive head coach who was willing to.
But I took his take, but yeah. But that's what I think. I just think it may be that year, unfortunately, where it's like we don't win every game going away. I don't think any team wins any game going away now. I feel like you win a game now, and it's going to be a 3 or 1 score game. So you're going to score. It's either going to be a 3-point game or it's going to be a 7-point game going into the fourth quarter.
Do you have faith in the Chiefs offense, like calling nothing but running plays, if that's what it would take to win?
Yeah, no.
I didn't think so.
They're not doing that.
That's the difference, guys.
But I am saying they aren't good enough. If they score 14 points, then and we gotta be in a 14-14 deadlock. We don't want to be there, but we have confidence that if that's where we have to be. We've been here before. We've been here really all year. So let's get you. Like that's what I'm saying. We might as well just get. That's where we're here now. He'll have to figure it out later in the season and probably next year. The offense is just inefficient, so we're going to be in 14 deadlock games. I think
you're going to have to figure that out in the postseason because that's what I was actually going to go to. I wanted to ask before we went on that rant, right? Like, do y'all still think like the offense can make some type of improvement? Because that will be a plus. Because being 7-2 right now, even if we lose to the Eagles next week, I think we'll still be number 1 in the AFC due to the fact that everybody's a game behind us now. So it's kind of level with the people that already had that buys and everything. But I don't want to lose because we come out the ball.
Shot. I guess I'll shoot my shot. I think the Chiefs need to try to be in better personnels and call better plays to go against man defenses, because the Chiefs has always wanted to, kill them in zone. That's Travis Kelce's thing. Find them over the middle. I'm ready for Rashee Rice or MVS or somebody on the outside to prove that their corners are as good as we like to prove that our corners are good.
Yeah.
Let them get bumped, see if they can win over the top, or let Rashee take a 7-yard slant to the house. Like, get him in space.
20, 30 plus something.
Let him sweep back his defender and catch him. That's my thing is I think they get put into too many zones, and we've seen all season, man, I'm Mahomes. I've been holding the ball for 7 seconds, and I still can't find a soul to throw to.
Like, bro.
And
give him a chance. Just give him a chance, bro.
Somebody.
Give him a chance.
Saw that. It almost worked, but freaking could not come down with it. That over-the-top pass that should have worked. Like a better wide receiver, a less rattled Mahomes at that time. That's a big conversion.
That's what I'm raving about, because we keep on talking about Tony last year when he adjusted the gloves before going up on Jacksonville. Right? Why you just don't do that with him more? Like, give him those opportunities.
What does that say? What does that say, though? That Mahomes had better chemistry and better overall feelings towards him right after acquiring him versus this time a year later. Explain it to me. You know this guy a year more, and he's less effective.
And it's worse. It's irritating.
But at the same time, too, on 3rd and 20, Mahomes, and I feel like this is just. I talked to Dale about this yesterday. Caleb Williams had the same type of fumble yesterday, just where you kind of doing too much and you holding the ball willy-nilly all in your hand, and now you got 3 guys around you trying to make a play run on 3rd and 20 instead of just throwing it away. Now you fumble and you're in the red zone. So you have to be smarter too as a quarter. Like you don't keep shooting yourself in the foot. You're not helping the case by doing stuff like that. Like you got to kind of put your guys in a better situation too. You know what I'm saying? So I want to put the onus on everybody. You are right. We do have to find wide receivers that get open. Wide receivers are paid to get open. That's their job, is to have to figure out how to get beat coverage, is get behind them. But Your quarterback can't put you behind the 8 ball, and Mahomes finds a way to do that a lot in these past couple games. He's not a guy that turns the ball over a lot, and I don't
He
want to
is
put it
not.
on him and make an excuse, but he's turned it over
He's
a lot and put us in some
Dale, you
non-advantageous
acted
situations.
so thrilled when he threw a ball into the dirt.
Yes, I told him that. I was like, you was at your family, so we was like talking to the group. I was like, bro, yes, just don't give them momentum by giving up a turnover so they can get happy. That's what they want. Everybody like feeds off of turning over the ball on Mahomes, and then momentum shifts to them, and then they work off of that. I was happy about that. I was fine with that. So it's just this is what I would say to like for both sides who is arguing, who likes to blame Mahomes a lot and then likes to blame the wide receivers a lot. It can go both ways. Mahomes give them more opportunities, bro. When they go downfield, throw it up, give them a chance least. Let it be a jump ball, try to do something. This is who you're gonna work with for the rest of the season. Just make it work. But he did have one of them MVS downfield, regardless of the defender hand being right there. He could have had it a little bit more right here. He has a catch, could possibly go for 6. Wide receivers. We're complaining about Mahomes standing in the pocket and looking for people, right? Get open.
Correct.
Because we want him to get outside the pocket and do something. He's like, okay, y'all telling me to get in the pocket. The offensive line is giving me time, but I'm trying to stay in there. They can only do so much in 7 seconds. I'm going to be forced because since I can't move out the pocket early and I have that advantage, I'm going to have to move up because they're going to contain the outside edges.
What do you think that is? Is that like them trying to be like so in structure and like trying to run a play to the T that they're not utilizing them to fit the strengths of their quarterback who performs well
Yes.
5 seconds after the ball has been snapped?
Yep, they're trying to develop the play. And, at times, I think when it gets towards the end of the season, I think we're still going to win games, right? I still think we're going to be in that top seed race. But I think
that's a tough place, though, man. That's a tough place to be if you're a receiver.
It is a tough place.
Do you listen to your coaches and run the routes you're supposed to, or do you freelance for your quarterback, especially for Rashee Rice and
when he gets out the pocket, you need to continue to play. That was the difference from when we had Reed, Pringle, all those other guys as well too. They know to like, okay, let me find somewhere, let me make it an easier throw for him. Now when he's going to his strong side of where he's throwing that on the field, okay, I can go down the field because he can launch it. I probably got behind the defender. All he has to do is hit me ahead, so you can do it like that. When he's going away, turn away from his body, come towards him. Because he will make the throw, but make it an easier throw for him. Grab it, get upfield, get a couple yards. So it's like we can run through the plays as well too to get y'all open. But in moments when I gotta extend and I'm trying to get first downs and we know our offense is stalling and we need to wake up, now we gotta work together. We gotta be on one accord. We can't just favor one group the whole time. As an offense, this is teamwork. We gotta come together.
This is the week that Andy Reid decides to blow off the dust of his playbook that's been on his desk since training camp. That's like that. I have to use these plays, break glass in emergency. Andy, it is that part. It is to that point of the season that you need to use all the plays you got. I think we probably saw some of that in the first drive. And then it was like, okay, no. Our offense is fine. Put those plays back. We're not going to unleash any new ones anymore. Use our standard plays.
Yeah, I don't think he's chilling.
Struggle. So I'm done, dude. There should be no more holding back. I mean, we did just enough to win this game, and Andy, it had nothing to do with your offense.
Nothing.
It had everything to do with that other coach who covers that other side of the ball. So give Spags his flowers. Give that whole defense their flowers. They stepped up.
And like you said, we snuck out of there with a win, and we hate having to do that. We hate even having to come in here and say that. That's not a comfortable feeling to be in. And like I tell my family, these are games that we're going to be in probably for the rest of the season. Being in the office is playing like that. We got to sneak out with the wins and get them how you can. So if that means it's a botch snap fumble on the snap, then that means that's how we got the win, and we'll take it and go. But the Chiefs have a lot of work to do, man, for real. Especially on that side of the ball. This bye week is going to be big because the Eagles are going to be ready, and they're going to put up points on you. More than these guys will.
We said that about Miami, though.
We said
that about Miami.
It's every third. It's every. They said it's 4th and 1. It's 3rd and 1. They said or 4th and 1. No, it's every. They said every time they get the ball, it's first and 9 instead of 1st and 10.
Yeah,
because of the touch push. So they're gonna be efficient in more areas just based off of how they play. Period. We seen them in the Super Bowl and it was back and forth. You better be ready and you better be on your game because they just beat these guys that you just played. They made them look just like you did, and they actually looked a little bit better. So Only thing that they can hope is that Jalen Hurts is not 100%. So, and he probably
Yep.
will be.
My final thoughts on the game is great win. We got out of there. Defense, thank you once again. This is a big one. Pretty much, let's hope that it's flipped from last year where it seems like the offense started out fast, they was looking good, and then you start seeing it kind of get ugly in the middle of the season, getting through some of the games as well though. But still was able to get to that playoffs right and then get to the Super Bowl. Hopefully, it's like, okay, we out this year after the bye, we about to make some shake. We about to make some work. Y'all gonna be like, oh, this is an offense that we've been waiting for all year. That's what I hope. That's what I want the reaction to be. Let's be ready for the Eagles on Monday Night Football. Essentially, you basically got another day of rest as well, too, just because with you having a bye week and then having the game on Monday, you're not playing on that Sunday. So
Right.
hopefully Reed keeps up his record after the bye. We get a win, and we go to 8-2 after that, and let's finish off the season strong. Tough first half of the season because we're going on the bye, so this is basically our half of the season done. Great job, defense, offense. Let's wake up.
Dang right. Lonnie, final thoughts.
Yep. Well, I share the same sentiments. Offense, you got to wake up. You got to score some points, or you're going to be buying Rolls Royces and Rolexes for your whole defense. They're going to be the reason you win the Super Bowl. They're going to have the Super Bowl MVP. We're not going to want to hear nothing about Patrick Mahomes. We're going to be talking about who is the best player on the Chiefs team, and it's going to be a defensive star. So I really, really want the Chiefs to get it together. And if not, I feel like we found some guys in that first half of the season that shows us this Chiefs defense has arrived. We top 5. Bring your best offense because we're going to bring our best defense, and you better hope that y'all score more than us because we got a defense that's going to keep you down. They're going to hold you down. And we got some corners that out there that can cover, some guys that ain't scared to tackle. So I feel like they got the perfect mix over there. They got some dogs on the other side of the ball. I'm ready for that Super Bowl rematch because them guys kind of got burnt. Let's just see how it goes. Like he said, keep it up out of the bye, Andy, and let's stay focused and get this dub, man. Come on.
All right. Yeah. My final thoughts is I need Andy, I need Matt, and I need Pat to all be joined up this weekend, this next week, all just deciding what do we want this offense to be truly. Like, let's pick our identity out right now. And despite what we've been in the past or what we may have had the goal of being this season, let's come up with this new goal that gets us to the place we want to be, which is hoisting the Lombardi Trophy at the end of the season. We know we don't need Pat to throw for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns every game anymore, and we can all clasp our hands in prayer that the good Lord finally did that for us and gave us a God tier defense and give Spags and every player on defense all the credit possible and hope that all of that energy is still on the plane as they fly back here and still stays in that week in that room 2 weeks before they host the Philadelphia Eagles here on Monday Night Football in Arrowhead Stadium. I'm ready for the Rashee Rice blowout, like showcase. If he should be every third down, if he's not already, give the ball to Pacheco every other drive. If you ain't trying to throw it to Rashee, and let Travis slowly figure it out. You don't want him to be rushed. You don't want him to be like upset or frantic that he's not getting his touches and worried he's not doing enough for the team and the offense. Don't let him worry about that. Just let the offense work through whoever they got, work the progressions, work down the field, do what you have to do to win the game. Go into your playbook, pick out the plays that work, throw away the ones that haven't, come up with some variations to say, okay, you on this route, you need to cut more towards the sidelines, or you just need to do a complete corner route instead. Mix some things up to give the receivers a chance to get the opportunities to make plays, because it looks like from the TV that they're just laying an egg, not doing anything to get those targets. So come back out, figure out what you want to do, figure out your identity, realize who the dogs you have on offense are and showcase them. Let your dogs on defense continue to feast. Get your mind right, get your body right, and get ready to face a very tough team here in a week and a half. So Before I go, I just want to ask all of you who are listening to follow and subscribe on all of our platforms at Red Kingdom Media, so you can keep track with what all we're up to. And also, I'd like you to like, comment, and share so you can show your support and let us know you're a fan of what we do and what we deliver to y'all. Thank you so much for listening. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, because I know you guys get to listen to this early. You don't have to wait till Monday, but if you're listening again on Monday, thanks for the double listen. Thank you all for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday afternoon. And as always, boys, let's go.
Chiefs!
Thanks for checking out this update straight from the heart of Chiefs Kingdom. We appreciate your passion, so please leave a like and follow us wherever you tune in from. See you next tailgate, your trusted source for all things Chiefs. Red Kingdom Media.